What do you say? We're just doing B12 today, Eli, because so
Sure,
many questions.
sure,
What
sure.
do you say to the people that comment and talk to you and tell you that they were raw or vegan and they became deficient? And then as soon, now they're irreversible nerve damage. Every once in a while, I'm sure you get this comment.
Mhm.
And then there's two types of people. One is they started supplementing and all of a sudden they feel better. Well, we know that's placebo. We know
Yeah.
that. But what do you say to the people that are like telling you that they became like a Tim Trader? I don't know if you know who that, his
Yeah,
story. He says
yeah.
he didn't take B12 and now he's deficient and he has nerve damage. What are your thoughts on that? Not specifically Tim, but specifically somebody that says that they didn't supplement and they regret it and now they have permanent brain damage and nerve damage.
Okay, so for one thing, the metrics that we use to test for B12 levels, a lot of those metrics are designed to be detecting synthetic B12, right? The type of B12 that is
Tell
added
them.
to animal feed, okay? The type of products that are added and fortified to foods, these are all synthetic B12 in the first place, okay? And so they base those metrics on what you need on a population that is already taking fortified supplements. And
Yes.
okay, so it starts to get very screwy
Yeah.
and strange when you really start to think about what, okay, because all these numbers, all these gauges for what we need, again, this is all coming out of the same era of freakish obsession with categorizing and controlling nature from the top down like God does. Okay, so that's one thing. So I could say that. The other thing is that supplements can be very stimulating. They're like, it's like dosing
Like
yourself with
meat.
hormone, right? Yeah, it's it can have effects, right? Stimulating, metabolically invigorating effects because it's like a drug. It is a drug. These things are drugs. And sometimes when you take drugs, you can feel better, but feeling better isn't necessarily getting better. There's another, there's a very simple thing that you could respond to that. And you could just say, yeah, but meat eaters get B12 just as often as vegans do.
Fact.
So
That's a fact.
so I mean even that, even if I was just operating on that, it would mean that I would have to go back and reconsider what B12 is and whether I am deficient if the people getting the richest, most abundant sources of B12 are also deficient. It means that my thinking is wrong. It means that something is not correct. So I would have to figure that out.
Are
Um,
you? Sorry. Continue.
yeah, and the last element, again, our minds are very, 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 very powerful, very powerful. If it can skew things. If you believe that there is this thing to worry about, yeah, sure enough, it can start to affect you. Now that I can't come at you with any kind of direct proof that would convince a person in the moment. All right, understandably, but I mean, there it is. Your mind, states of mind will eventually reproduce themselves in physical reality. We see that very, very often, but it's just not recognized for the power that it is. But what can I say? I mean, okay. I am, as a raw vegan who eats fairly minimally, mostly fruit, and some vegetables from time to time. I'm very, very active. Again, very, very active. I do a lot of physical activity. I'm a professional stuntman. I have activity and exertion and all this is part of my life. And I've never even sniffed or sussed a B12 supplement. I mean, save for that one time, like for a couple days.
Yeah,
But
don't
but
say that because then John Kohler is going to find the video and put it up
yeah,
and call you a
yeah,
liar.
yeah,
So
yeah,
continue.
sure. Yeah. So aside from those couple days, then it's not on my mind. It's not. I'm accepting and having faith in the intelligence that this machine was constructed with, and the edifice of science and its offspring, the mindset of scientism, which is a dogmatic belief in science. Okay, what that has caused, it has caused us to be pathologically unfaithful to the wisdom that is inherent in the body and in the mind. And we have learned to not trust those things, but trust the other experts. But it's funny, if you were to go and ask those experts, hey, do you mind? I want to buy this jug of B12. Do you mind running me through what's in it? Because I don't really know. Oh well, it's just this proprietary blend of well, just check the website and they'll have all the information that you want. Oh, check the website. Yeah, okay. Check the goddamn website. Nothing. 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 Check the internet. Oh, I need to see some pictures of B12 doing this thing. Yeah, you'll grow old. You won't find it. It's not there. It's not there because again, just playing smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke
Smoke
and
and mirrors.
mirrors.
What percentage do you think the placebo effect has on your health in general? What percentage do you think? Because from what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that when we get a blood test and we see we're low in B12,
Yeah,
it works on our mind. And
it
and if
does. Yes.
what
Yeah.
percentage do you think it is the placebo effect? What you're doing
Oh,
with the fruitarian diet?
that's that's a hard that's a hard question. I don't exactly. I don't know if I can confidently give you an answer with that. But what I can confidently say is that there is in fact an influence. It does register on the total spectrum of causality, right? It is
Yes.
there, and I guess it would depend on the mind. How strongly do you believe this? How fearful are you? How worried? Like, are you living every single day? Like, okay, I need to eat this to satisfy this. I need to eat that. Oh no, I didn't have my. Oh yeah, I should have that shake because there's this thing in it. Like, and how feverishly worried are you about this? If you are, then that will probably inform your consequences more so than someone else who's just like, maybe not so.
Yeah, I want to really hone this point to everyone watching. It's not just what Eli's eating, it's also how he's thinking.
Yeah,
And he is in the habit of not being afraid. And the people that go on the raw food diet and are in the habit of fear-based thinking are absolutely capable of creating deficiencies,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And not just
absolutely.
deficiencies, but health issues in general.
Health
Then
issues.
they go to the doctor. The doctor tells them, "Oh, you're raw. Whoa, that's a problem. You gotta
Yeah.
do something about that. Don't do that." But okay,
Okay.
you, yeah, you're not afraid. That's it, Eli. You see, but that comes from other things too, because you've been very like in sports. You're training for your whole life. It's training your mind to not be afraid. You're jumping off buildings
Yeah.
and God only knows what you do. I don't really know what you do, but I'm assuming you jump off buildings and shit. I'm
If
assuming.
if you guys could be a fly on the wall and see some of the things that you have to overcome in my job, and people tell me all the time, yeah, Eli, you seem very calm. I'm like, you should see what my day job is like, right? If you could see some of the things that we have to do, you'd watch and like, oh yeah, that explains why he's so calm, right? So maybe that
Can
has
you
to
tell us one of the craziest things you've ever done?
craziest things I've ever done. Let's see. There's lots of things that for most people would be fairly crazy. on top of a building in Cuba, flipping off of a I don't know, a big drop, and having to land in between a set of steel beams, and
Okay, yeah,
making
that.
right. So that
But
could be.
where do you get your B12? Where, Eli? Okay, no, let's focus, guys. Yes, okay, so we do have only like 15 minutes left.
Okay.
So Eli, let me please ask you real quick. So B12 we covered. Thank you so
Okay.
much. I learned so much and I can't wait to watch this again. I always learn so much from your videos. Guys, if you are not following Eli, I'm going to leave his links on YouTube below. And if you're here on Instagram, just go to Free Melon Eli. I'm going to put all the links and I'll collaborate on this video. So please follow him. He will change your life. And also the most important part of Eli existing is that he's going to, every time I watch your videos, Eli, I'm not afraid. Like you really make me feel like very confident in my decisions, and I'm not afraid to be raw. After I watch your videos, I'm like, oh yes, it makes sense. When you speak, I know it's truth because it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that we should be afraid once we start eating raw. We should be afraid before. We should be
Right.
afraid before we go raw. When
Right.
we're eating Pop Tarts and Doritos, we should be afraid. Okay,
Right.
so now vitamin D3. Vitamin D3, what are some, okay, so Eli doesn't take supplements. So we're not going to ask him, does he take them? We're going to ask Eli, what are some of the dangerous side effects of taking a vitamin D3? Just taking it because you should take it, like just in case.
Okay. Well, it's all vitamins, D3 included. Okay, all of them are synthesized, processed by very similar methods. Okay, so it's this adulterated thing where they do a bunch of nonsense involving the most harsh chemicals you could possibly imagine. Petroleum products, the acetones, what do you call it? Antifreeze, like all of these harsh chemicals. Okay, so they're all produced in the same way. Um, with vitamin D, okay, we're told it's this hormone that we produce when we're in contact with the sun. Uh, Now, here's the thing: they do whatever analyses they imagine leads them to the conclusion that taking D3, that D3, first of all, is the same thing that your body produces. So the stuff that they produce in the lab, that's the exact, like according to them, according to a chemist, it is the exact same thing that happens in your body. Okay. Now, just on principle alone, that is wildly ignorant. Wildly ignorant. There's no chance of that. Not a chance. But the thing is, it's this. Okay, so it's the sun that's important. It's sun exposure that's important. And when your body is hit with sun rays, there's a whole cascade of things that happen. And one of the things that happens is whatever they think they're seeing with this vitamin D. It's like this residue from the action of sun hitting our bodies. Okay, but um, that residue in and of itself isn't the magic formula to take in order to give you the benefits of the sun, right? The sun is what did the benefiting, right? The D3 is just this biomarker, it's just this biological marker that sun exposure has been attained, okay? But then you have these scientific dogmatists, okay? They come in with their tools and they think they see, oh well, this chemical it exists and we see it show up when people are in the sun. Therefore, see, it's always the explanation where science goes mad. It's always the explanatory process. They're very good, very, very, very good at observing the world. Science is fantastic for that kind of thing. If I want to find information on anatomy, then scientific, they're not going to lie to me. I can go and I can confidently put faith into the fact that the bicep tendon inserts here. Like I can pour my faith into that. that's where they shine. But when they have to do interpretation of results or an explanation, they drop the ball. So, so they see this chemical, this marker, this vitamin D in the blood, and then they say, oh well, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. They just decide that that's the case. This must be the thing that is giving you the benefit of the sun, and it is the same as getting some sun on a nice summer day. Taking this is the same thing. They just make that assumption. They just make it for no reason, for no goddamn reason.
In your opinion, can somebody become deficient by taking these supplements who is not deficient in them?
Could someone could someone become
Become
deficient?
deficient by taking these supplements, the B12 and the vitamin D.
Yeah.
Could they become deficient by taking these synthetic supplements?
Yes. Okay. Let me tell you something very, very, very quickly. Yes, yes, they can. So, I'll digress. All industries, all chemical processes tend to create byproducts. Okay. Our bodies do. You run a machine. There's typically a byproduct associated with that. It happens in industry all the time. Now, byproducts are very, very, very expensive because as a company, as a manufacturer of some product, you have to pay to get rid of your waste products, right? To dispose of them properly. It's very, very, very expensive. So any time a company can cut the costs of getting rid of a byproduct, that is gold, because there's potentially millions of dollars in a company eliminating the need to expend the cost of removing a byproduct. Okay, so what these geniuses do is they say, our
I'm gonna
by
mute because I can't.
our okay, yeah. So what they say is, since we're producing this byproduct, okay, what would be ingenious is if we could find some excuse to sell it to, what's another industry that we know that we own already? Oh, the vitamin industry, the food industry. It's genius, guys. Why don't we take our byproduct and convince everybody that those things are food? Oh my goodness. So what they'll do is they'll sell their waste, their crap, their animal effluent, their cobalt refuse, their sawdust, their goddamn camel pancreas fluid. They'll take what? They'll take all of,
Feces.
yes, feces, straight feces, straight feces. So they'll take that and then they'll sell it. Okay, they'll sell it, and then the vitamin manufacturers will use that material now, pay the company they'll pay the company now to take their waste instead of expending money. It's genius. So the manufacturers now take this garbage, they manufacture a vitamin, and then what they do is they treat the human body as waste disposal units, and they never told you. I'm going to say that again. They treat the human body as biological waste disposal units. Why? Because the human digestive system is so unbelievably complex and wonderful and riddled with God-given intelligence that it will make minced meat out of virtually anything. So if they can hide their chemicals in your body, then what that means, they don't, and it's completely invisible. When you get sick, because you take your supplements like a good citizen, when you get sick, eventually, you cannot tie it back to this industry. No way. It's too disconnected. But the magic here is that because Big Pharma is providing and manufacturing both sets of drugs, the pharmaceutical and the nutritional in quotes, It means that if you are hooked onto the vitamin delusion and the scam, then when you fall sick because you diligently take your vitamins, now you go to big pharma and they will convince you to take the next set of pharmaceutical grade drugs, but either goddamn way, they have you. They have you.
And
Okay?
yes. And that is the problem with being raw in this society. They're going to fear you into going back into
Yeah.
the herd, into the majority. You're right
Yeah.
now in the minority. If you're eating a raw food diet or a high raw vegan diet, or even a healthy cooked vegan diet, you're in the minority. And
Yeah.
they're trying to get you with these supplements to get back into the majority. And Eli, you're so right when you said mincemeat. First of all, this is a vegan channel, so we're going to say minced jackfruit. But you're right, because the average person is walking around eating the only nutrition in their diet is the iceberg lettuce on the Big Mac and the slice of tomato, and they're living because of that. One slice of tomato and one piece of romaine lettuce or iceberg lettuce on their Big Mac. That's the only nutrition they have all day, the only real vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, and they're still alive because of that. Because of that. So why in the actual fruit are we concerned about calories, supplements, how much we need to eat, whatever on a raw food diet when the average person is walking around eating one slice of cucumber or one slice of tomato, GMO tomato, okay, on a
Yeah.
Big Mac, and they're driving, they're working, they're a functioning member of society, they're okay. The raw vegans don't need to worry. Continue. I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. Yeah, I know, and I can feel the frustration. And trust me, I get it. I get it. Like it's a very frustrating thing. The first part of this frustration is just trying to find images, images or videos or and you could you because you imagine how could okay all right part of the thing here, part of the way out of this hole is to start asking the right questions. Okay, so
Mm.
you have to start asking the right questions. Okay, you ask the average person, how do you think? Okay, they're taking some sort of vitamin pills of some sort or powders or injections. Oh my God, injections. Oh my God. And now we're bypassing the processing system of the body and going directly into the king's chamber, straight into the blood with no screening by security. Holy moly. Oh my God.
So it's safe to say you're not getting the B12 shot.
No,
That's what you're saying? Okay.
no, no. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So, yeah, it comes down to asking the right questions. So you ask someone, how do you think this vitamin got packaged in this bottle? Like, what do you think the process was? Right? Just ask out of curiosity. Ask, where do you think this vitamin came from? Right? Just the simple questions. Why is it that you imagine that we have so much information about these vitamins and what they do, but you can't find a bloody picture of it, or video, or anything, right? Why is it so difficult for you to find information of how the industry processes these things? Why is that information so obscured behind layers and layers of nonsensical riffraff? Why? Why? I mean, so asking the right questions, right? Um, because many people will believe something about the vitamins that they're taking that has nothing to do with reality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were trying to know me as a person, right? You getting to know me. Walk me through it. What are some of the very obvious things that you would do if you just wanted to know what kind of person I was? Walk me through
Mm-hmm. You want me
it.
to?
Yeah, yeah,
What is your name? What is your age? Where do you
yeah,
live? What do
yeah,
you like to do? What are you
yeah,
passionate about?
yeah,
Are you subscribed to Ms.FitVegan?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube channel. Yeah, what's your favorite book? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite book? These are all good answers, right? These are just questions that you might ask, okay? But that's not how scientists would get to know somebody. Right? That's not what they would do. That's not what chemists do, okay? A, a, a chemist would probably drop a massive anvil from the top of the CN Tower, which is Toronto's iconic tower. It's the tallest building in Toronto. They would drop an anvil from the top of the CN Tower and crush the living daylights out of my entire body. Just turn me into a pancake. And then they would probably flame broil that soup on the floor, and then they would start throwing chemicals onto it. And then, okay, and then once they put me in a blender, my remains, and blend me up, okay, throw some more ethanol and antifreeze into that mix, okay, then they're going to add a resin and put a resin onto it, and so like turn it, like congeal it a little bit, throw it in the freezer, take it out, add some more chemicals, okay. So when they do all that, then imagine what would you say if some chemist did all that to me, and then they told you, by examining the material on this sludge of Eli Martyr juice, okay, we have come to the determination that he liked philosophy. He was a stuntman in his life. He had hazel eyes. He liked to eat watermelon. Imagine, okay, what would you say if some scientist came to you and said, yeah, we've determined all of this from this brick of martyr sludge? What would your response be?
That's insane. That's insane.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be insane. It would be insane. It would be absolutely insane, because you cannot determine the properties of life by examining its burnt, charred, chemically destroyed remains. You can't. You need to examine life in the living state. Otherwise, you can't come to a clear determination of how that thing operates. So when that influencer tells me that I should eat the powdered, fractionated, shelf-stable product, at the same time, I know that the life has been taken from that thing, and it's not the same. It's not the same. You can't tell me that I grew up on such and such a street by examining the pulverized remains of my ankle bone. You can't. You can't. You need to know me as a living person. You need to communicate with me as a living entity, right? And that's where all the information is. But without that, we're smoke and mirrors, right? Smoke and mirrors.
That was phenomenal. That was it. What you just said, that's it. Drop the mic. We don't need to say anything else. Guys, we don't need to say anything else. Did you get it? Put a watermelon emoji if you got it. If you got it. This doesn't make sense what we're doing. And then you said once, and we're not going to get into it today, but I loved how you said once, like, you don't eat a cheetah's bone to run faster. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that, bitch. You didn't say the word bitch, but you know, that's what you wanted to say because
Yeah.
you were responding to somebody's comment or something. And
Oh, I see.
anyway, the point is that you know, you want to be healthier, but you're eating you're taking something that cannot give you life.
Right.
It's dead. You cannot get life from something dead. So whether it's, you know, this famous YouTuber that concocted their own supplements, or it's this GNC product, it's the same thing. It's dead. It's dead. We came to the raw food diet because we recognize what Eli just laid out. So, okay, real quick, protein powder. No protein powder. You don't need protein powder. You're not worried about protein powder, right? Okay. Enzymes,
No.
iron. Can you tell
And
somebody it just goes on and on. But
enzymes.
what,
Enzymes. 2 seconds. In 2 seconds
please,
on
please.
enzymes you can destroy them very, very easily. You can destroy them very, very easily with heat and processing and whatnot. Okay, so if that's the case, then in order to make a product, a shelf-stable product, I have no choice but to subject it to all the things that destroy enzymes. So so at the end of the day, my logic says, well, why don't I just eat the piece of lettuce that you made the product from, and then I would get all the enzymes and not 50% of them or 40% of them, right? Why don't I just do that? If I really need to, okay, right? If I want to be safe, I could eat 2 pieces of lettuce. Huh? I don't know. Christ.
Why do some raw vegans say that they need to have that they CMOS? Do you believe in this CMOS thing? Why do some raw vegans say it's 92 minerals out of the 108 and it's really good for you? What are your thoughts on the CMOS?
um, my thoughts on the CMOS. Uh, have you have you ever have you ever been to the beach?
I
And
live on the beach.
okay, yeah, you live on the beach. Have you ever picked up like seaweed, pond scum, any of
Yes.
it, and just is it appetizing in any way?
It smells, it's gross, it's slimy, and I avoid it when I'm swimming. But if there was a mango floating, I would not avoid that. But yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
seaweed I avoid.
right. Even a child that knows nothing about nutritional anything, you show them an apple or a mango, and they're fascinated. They want to put it in their mouths. They want, oh my god, what is this, right? For one thing, I've done that before. I've even I had to force myself. I found some seaweed just growing on the beach from the ocean, okay, and I picked it up. I'm like, God damn, Warner. Oh no, oh really? You're gonna do this right now? And I tried some. I ate it, and well, I didn't swallow. It was gross. It was gross. It was gross. So for one thing, if I'm being honest with how I'm designed and my sensitivities, it's hard for me to bring myself to accept seaweed as something that I should be doing every single day. It's very difficult for me to do that. I'm not super opposed to someone including seaweed. I mean, yeah, you can, sure, especially if it's just the whole food itself. All right. Um, I'm not super opposed to it. It's just that it would take a lot of convincing to get me to believe that the minerals and the nutrients in that are better absorbed than in fruits. In fact, fruit, because of the nature of fruit, because it's designed as food, the, the nutrients in fruits are far more bioavailable than those that come from vegetables. It can be as low as 5 to 10% of the nutrients that you absorb from vegetables. It can be frighteningly low. And with fruits, you find that bioavailability much greater. So, so there's that element to consider as well, right? The other element is we are playing on our obsession with we need the most, we need more, we need as much as possible. Whenever we're conducting our eating impulses, we're always taking for granted that the experts say, get as much of this as possible. Find the richest, densest source of this accumulation of minerals, and that's the food source that you should be taking. But nobody ever seems to ask, what if the amount of minerals in the food that I naturally resonate with are enough, are in fact what works better in the system? You don't always have to go for the most concentrated collection of nutrients. And assuredly, that's what industry does. Ask someone why they eat sea moss. Inevitably, they will tell you that it's because it contains all the minerals, all these minerals. Nobody is doing it because sea moss tastes great. Nobody's doing that. Everybody I've asked.
You know
Everybody
what they
I've asked.
do, Eli? There's companies that they mix it with fruit to make it taste good. You know that, right? You can get mango, you can get
No, I didn't
strawberry
know.
sea moss. Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I didn't. No, I didn't
Okay.
know. I didn't
So,
know.
last question of the
Yeah.
day. Well, what if so you're eating mostly fruit, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
you do eat greens when you want,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. Now,
Yep.
question. What if you went to the doctor, do you get blood tests?
Um, not nearly as often um, as the medical community would suggest that I take blood tests.
Yes, Eli was so kind to do an episode with me on this. He came to my private community years ago. Thank you for that, and I'll leave that below. He did a whole entire episode with me on blood tests and how sacred your blood is, and I never
Yeah.
knew all the things that he taught me. So I'll leave that below on YouTube. So watch that after this. So you don't really get blood tests too often. Okay, how often do you get? Do you need to get blood tests for your job? Like, when's your next blood test, you
No.
think?
Say that again. What was my?
When do you think you'll get your next blood test? If
Oh,
like
I don't. I don't have any
no.
until there's a pressing need for me to
Yeah.
get one. I won't go into it because there's not much time. I'll do this on another day. The last time I got a blood test was because I needed to. I had been poisoned from at work with bad air quality, and so my breathing was for a little bit. It was kind of compromised, and it was it was making my heart rate race and it was like oh. Now I just gave it time and my body cleared it out, right? But I did go in and like, okay, maybe I'll just go in and get checked. And part of the checkup was to get a blood test. They told me that if there's anything that's off or weird about your blood test, we'll contact you. They never contacted me, and they was like, no, honestly, man, you're fine. We can't see on paper. You're like perfect.
Okay, hypothetical question because you and I are not getting blood tests anytime soon, but the average person is because they want to go to the doctor to find out if they're healthy, okay, which is another whole
Yeah,
interesting concept to find out if I'm okay. Like, please tell me if I'm okay. But if you got a blood test, Eli, and you were deficient in iron or iodine or anything, I'm just curious, what would you do with that information?
nothing. Um, I would okay. For one thing, for one thing, the those again, those reference ranges not only are they based on the average population, okay? Not only are they based on the average population, but they also take into account all of the fortified supplements that population already takes. So the numbers by default are horribly skewed in the direction of excess. And remember that period of time that I was talking about in the vitamin discoveries earlier in the 20th century?
Yes.
Okay, so on top of the colleges and the universities that the groups, like the families, like the Rockefellers and other social engineering groups and other wealthy industrialists and the Schiffs and the Morgans and the Lees, the Kennedys, the Onassis families, all
You're
these,
going deep now. Hold on. I don't want to.
all these
I'm going to
families.
bleep all those out when I go on
Yeah,
YouTube.
okay,
I'm
fine.
getting all that shit out. Hold on
Okay,
now.
fine. But on top of so on top of the medical industry that they captured and the universities and the colleges, okay, they also captured the NGOs that are responsible for coming up with dietary recommendations, the USDA, okay. So, oh gosh, um, they bake into those inflated ranges and numbers. Why? Because they know that the vitamin industry is booming. It's a massive business. So in 1 second, by changing a law or by changing the ranges, the recommended, the RDAs, okay, the RDIs, by adjusting those to suit what the vitamin industry is doing, they can overnight make everybody deficient, which means that they can now convince you to go out and get their bloody vitamins.
Control.
So that whole system, you have to understand. This is the difficulty: is that the average person can't even fathom the grandeur, the massive grandeur of the scheme against human value, okay, and the human experience. People couldn't even imagine how many levels this goes up, how many institutions are all tied in this together. It's all of them. It's all of them. All of them, okay? So again, these reference ranges, they were inflated systematically over time throughout this period of vitamin discoveries. So as they discover new vitamin supplements and whatever, then they up the dosage that you need so that they can sell them.
And starting in 1936, what did we do before 1936?
Nothing. Throw feces at one another like
How are we
monkeys.
here,
Nothing.
Eli?
Grab a
How
bunch
are
of
we
chemicals and
here?
just smash them and just isolate, rub them on tomatoes and then rub them on our faces, inject them into rabbits' necks, and then the rabbit gets sick, and then oh, so the virus was transmitted. It has nothing to do with me injecting
Oh
stuff
my
into them.
God.
Just I don't know, nonsense. Just nonsense.
Yeah, this is
Based on nothing.
really good. Okay, I want to encourage, no, seriously, you are amazing. You are amazing. I want to encourage, oh, tell everyone how old are you? You're 42, correct?
I'm 42. Yes, I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
No,
Anyway,
it's
go
okay.
ahead.
I'll take it from here. So wait, Eli is 42. I am 40. Our results will speak for themselves. And you know why he's laughing? Because he's laughing at how stupid you are. Guys, you are taking supplements on a raw food diet. You might as well eat your own shit. The B12 will at least be raw. Do me a favor. Eli said that, not me. But do me a favor. Do me a favor. Take your supplements, but don't take them out of fear starting today. You want to take your supplements, take them, but don't you dare be afraid of eating fruit and vegetables. You okay?
Yes, yes, I'm good.
Okay, now, uh, yeah. So, okay, we're ending this episode. I definitely want to do more. I want to do another episode with you because you're amazing. It's too much to cover. You have a lot of information that what most people will never ever realize. And what's great about you is that you're getting the results too. Because if you were sitting here as a overweight middle-aged man, I couldn't really take you seriously. You've got
Yeah.
the results, you got the information. I think you're one of the most important people in the raw food movement.
Oh, come on.
After me, of course. Like,
Yeah, obviously.
don't fucking play
Obviously.
yourself. But if only you had hair, perhaps, maybe. But the thing is that you have the information and the results. And the results. And so let's end with a just very simple question. What did you eat? What did you eat today, Eli? We're curious.
Oh my God, my iPad has 1%. 1% on it.
Okay.
What did I eat? I had plums. I had a bunch of plums, and it's tomato season, so there's a bunch of bloody tomatoes in the cantina. So I had some tomatoes after I had some plums. That's it.
Amazing.
That
Thank you
was
so
it.
much, Eli. You're amazing. We'll talk to you soon. You're amazing. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.